just called in to see you all. I'll only stay a while. I want to see how you're getting on. I want to see you smile. I'm happy to be back again. I greet you big and small, for there's no place else on earth just like the homes of Donegal. I love to see your happy faces smiling at the door, the kettle singing on the crook as I step up the floor, and soon the teapot is filling up my cup that's far from small. Oh, your hearts are like your mountains in the homes of Donegal. I long to sit along with you and while away the night with tales of yore and songs galore beside your fireside bright, and then to see prepared for me a shakedown by the wall. There's repose for weary wanderers in the homes of Donegal. The time has come when I must go. I bid you all adieu. The open highway calls me forth to do the things I do, and when I'm tramping on my way, I'll hear your voices call, and please God I'll soon return to the homes of Donegal. In the dark a ship was anchored on a bright St. Patrick's Day. On the quay a lass was sighing for her lover going away. In her hand she held an emblem, and its parting leaves were 3, and her parting words were, darling, look at these and think of me. 3-leaf shamrock, I adore thee. Your 3 leaves I long to free. When there's brighter days in Ireland, I'll come home and marry thee. Just before the ship had started, as she laid her hand on mine, just before that we had parted, she looked with loving eyes so kind. To my coat she pinned an emblem, and its parting leaves were 3, and her parting words were, darling, look at these and think of me. 3-leaf shamrock, I adore thee. Your 3 leaves captives I long to free. When there's brighter days in Ireland, I'll come home and marry thee. I've met some folks who say that I'm a dreamer, and I've no doubt there's truth in what they say. But sure, a body's bound to be a dreamer when all the things he loves are far away. And precious things are dreams unto an exile. They take him o'er the land across the sea. Especially when it happens he's an exile from that dear lovely Isle of Innisfree. And when the moonlight peeps across the rooftops of this great city, wondrous though it be, I scarcely feel its wonder or its laughter. I'm once again back home in Innisfree. I wander o'er green hills through dreamy valleys and find a peace no other land could know. I hear the birds make music fit for angels and watch the rivers laughing as they flow. And then into a humble shack I wander, my dear old home, and tenderly behold the folks I love around the turf fire gathered, on bended knees their rosary is told. But dreams don't last, and dreams are not forgotten, and soon I'm back to stern reality. But though they've paved the footways here with gold dust, I still would choose the Isle of Innisfree. Far away from the land of the shamrock and heather, in search of a living as exiles we roam. Whenever we chance to assemble together, we think of the land where we once had a home. These homes are destroyed and our soil confiscated. The hand of the tyrant brought plunder and woe. The fires are now quenched and our hearts desolated in our once happy homes in the county Mayo. Long years have since passed with our hearts full of sorrow. The land of the shamrock we left far behind. How we would like to go back there tomorrow, to the scenes of our youth which we still bear in mind. The days of our childhood, it's now we regret them. They cling to our vision wherever we go. And the friends of our youth, we will never forget them. They too are exiled from the county Mayo. From Galway to Dublin, from Derry to Kerry, in New York and Frisco and Boston also, in Pittsburgh, Chicago, Detroit and Toronto, there are stout-hearted men from the county Mayo. So boys, cling together in all kinds of weather. Don't show the white feather wherever you go. Be like a brother and help one another, like true-hearted men from the county Mayo. Far across yonder blue lies a true fairyland, where the sea ripples over the shingles and sand, where the gay honeysuckle is luring the bee, and the green glens of Antrim are calling to me. Sure, if only you knew how the lamp of the moon turns a blue Irish bay to a silvery lagoon, you'd imagine a picture of heaven it could be, where the green glens of Antrim are calling to me. Soon I hope to return to my own cushioned doll. 'Tis the one place for me that can outshine them all. Sure, I know every stone, I recall every tree, where the green glens of Antrim are calling to me. I would halt at a cabin close down by the shore, and I'd knock with my heart at that wee cabin door, while the sun showers gold in the lap of the sea, and the green glens of Antrim were smiling on me. 'Tis alone my concern if the grandest surprise would be shining at me out of somebody's eyes. 'Tis my private affair what my feelings would be, while the green glens of Antrim were welcoming me. But I'd be where the people are simple and kind, and among them the one who's been I in my mind. Sure, I'd pray that the world would in peace let me be, where the green glens of Antrim are heaven to me. I've planned a trip to Ireland, to the land I long to see. Coot Hill, Belturbet, Billaborough, and along the Annalee, to walk these beside Loch Sheelin and breathe the scented air. Cavan town and proud Virginia, for my heart's been always there. This lovely county Cavan, sure 'twas blessed by God for me, for it's the birthplace of my father and his sweetheart, my mother Machree. I've heard of all its beauties since a child on mother's knee. That's the reason I will tell you why it means so much to me. Song you sing of Ireland brings memories that are dear, but sweeter than all others is the song I love to hear of the spot in dear old Ireland where happy sure I'll be when my long-planned trip is here, boys, and my eyes will truly see this lovely county Cavan. Sure 'twas blessed by God for me, for it's the birthplace of my father and his sweetheart, my mother Machree. I've heard of all its beauties since a child on mother's knee. That's the reason I will tell you why it means so much to me. I have traveled so far from my own native home, away o'er the mountains and away o'er the foam. I have seen many sights, but no fairer I've seen than the rough rocky slopes of the cliffs of Dooneen. I have seen many sights in Columbia's fair land, in Africa, Egypt, so delightful and grand. But give me a home where the grass it grows green and the old rocky slopes by the cliffs of Dooneen. Take a view across the Shannon, grand sights you'll see there. High rocky mountains towards the west coast of Clare. The town of Kilrush and Kilkee can be seen, and the old rocky slopes of the cliffs of Dooneen. Fare thee well to Dooneen, fare thee well for a while, and all those kind neighbours that I'm leaving behind. May my soul never rest till I'm laid on the green and the rough rocky slopes of the cliffs of Dooneen. 'Tis well I know that often folks keep wondering when in my eyes a far-off look they see. What can it be, the cause of all my dreaming? What is this dream so very dear to me? And true to tell, 'tis often I go roaming in dreams along the road of memory, to where my heart will find its consolation within that lovely cottage by the lea. My home, sweet home that I so fondly cherish. The dear ones there mean all the world to me. In all this world, if there can be a heaven, I'm sure it's in that cottage by the lea. 'Tis grand to stand outside the cottage doorway and gaze across the cornfields rich and gold, to hear the stream go rippling by the meadow and watch the shepherd calling to his fold. From down the lane that winds behind the garden, the blackbird greets the smiling summer morn. And as his music echoes o'er the valley, you smile and bless the day that you were born. Yes, that's my dream, my lovely dream of homeland. And though I thought a rover I could be, 'tis soon I found I left my heart behind me, within that lovely cottage by the lea.
Oh, to be in Doonery with the sweetheart I once knew, to stroll in the shade of the leafy glade where the rhododendrons grew, to sit with my love on the bridge above a rippling waterfall, to go back home, never more to roam, is my dearest wish of all. If you ever go to Ireland, I'm sure you will agree to take the road from Dublin town way down to Doonery. And when you find the wishing well beyond the chestnut tree, beneath the spell of the wishing well, will you make this wish for me? Oh, to be in Doonery with the sweetheart I once knew, to stroll in the shade of the leafy glade where the rhododendrons grew, to sit with my love on the bridge above a rippling waterfall, to go back home, never more to roam, is my dearest wish of all. And if you take the hilly path to the woods where bluebells grow, where we as barefoot children played so many years ago, you'll find the slumbering castle there, entwined in memory, beneath the spell of the wishing well, will you make this wish for me? Oh, to be in Doonery with the sweetheart I once knew, to stroll in the shade of the leafy glade where the rhododendrons grew, to sit with my love on the bridge above a rippling waterfall, to go back home, never more to roam, is my dearest wish of all. There's one fair county in Ireland with memories so glorious and grand, where nature has lavished her bounties. It's the orchard of Erin's green land. I love its cathedral and city, once founded by Patrick so true, and there in the heart of its bosom lie the ashes of Brian Boru. It's my own Irish home, far across the
times left it some foreign lands to roam. No matter where I wander, in cities near or far, sure me heart is at home in old Ireland and the county of Armagh. I've travelled through parts of that county, through Newtown, Forkhill, Crossmaglen, and down by the gap of Mount Norris, and home by Blackwater again, where the girls are so hale and so hearty, none fairer in Erin go Bra. And where are the boys that can court them, like the boys from the county Armagh? It's my own Irish home, far across the foam. Although I've oft times left it some foreign lands to roam, no matter where I wander, in cities near or far, sure my heart is at home in old Ireland and the county of Armagh. Here we are on Broadway, 3,000 miles from home, but it's back in dear old Ireland our hearts have ever roamed. And when we do go back again, they'll take us by the hand, and we'll shout hurrah, hurrah again for dear old Ireland. John James O'Hara and Michael McNamara were two respected Irishmen wherever they were known. They were known by their doings, they were men of great influence. O'Hara from Tara, McNamara from Mayo. It's many a long year ago we cut the turf and hay, and gathered in the cornfield in the evening for the tea. These were the happy days, me boy, we used to reap and sow. All of O'Hara from Tara, McNamara from Mayo. John James O'Hara and Michael McNamara were two respected Irishmen wherever they were known. They were known by their doings, they were men of great influence. O'Hara from Tara, McNamara from Mayo. Tomorrow we'll be on our way to dear old Erin's Isle, back to home and plenty after many a year of toil. Back to hear the corncrake and the nightingale also, they'll sing O'Hara from Tara, McNamara from Mayo. John James O'Hara and Michael McNamara were two respected Irishmen wherever they were known. They were known by their doings, they were men of great influence. O'Hara from Tara, McNamara from Mayo. Now I'm on my way to see the mother I adore, in her cozy wee thatched cabin with the ivy round the door. She'll hold me in her arms as she did so long ago, and together we'll sing the praises of old Tara and Mayo. John James O'Hara and Michael McNamara were two respected Irishmen wherever they were known. They were known by their doings, they were men of great influence. O'Hara from Tara, McNamara from Mayo. O'Hara from Tara, McNamara from Mayo. The pale moon was rising above the green mountain, the sun was declining beneath the blue sea, when I strayed with my love to the pure crystal fountain that stands in the beautiful vale of Tralee. She was lovely and fair, as the rose of the summer. Yet 'twas not her beauty alone that won me. Oh no, 'twas the truth in her eye ever dawning that made me love Mary, the rose of Tralee. The cool shades of evening their mantle were spreading, and Mary, all smiling, sat listening to me. The moon through the valley her pale rays were shedding, when I won the heart of the rose of Tralee. Though lovely and fair as the rose of the summer, yet was not her beauty alone that won me. Oh no, 'twas the truth in her eye ever dawning that made me love Mary, the rose of Foley. Near and more in the county Galway, one pleasant evening in the month of May, I spied a damsel. She was young and handsome, her beauty fairly took my breath away. She wore no jewels, no costly diamonds, not paint or powder, no, none at all. She wore a bonnet with a ribbon on it, and round her shoulders was a Galway shawl. We kept on walking, she kept on talking, till her father's cottage came into view. Said she, "Come in, sir, and meet me, father, and play to please him the foggy dew." I played the blackboard, the stack of barley, old Rodney's glory, and the foggy dew. She sang each note like an Irish linnet, and tears stood in her eyes of blue. She wore no jewels, no costly diamonds, not pink or powder, no, none at all. She wore a bonnet with a ribbon on it, and around her shoulders was a Galway shawl. It was early, all in the morning, I hit the road for old Donegal. Said she, "Goodbye, sir." She cried and kissed me, but my heart remained with the Galway shawl. She wore no jewels, no costly diamonds, not paint or powder, no, none at all. She wore a bonnet with a ribbon on it, fleet is leaving Dingle Shore. Their brown sails glistening in the sunset as they reach the fishing ground near Skelly Grove. And through the night men toil until the daybreak, while at home their wives and sweethearts kneel and pray that God may guard them and protect them, and to send them safely back to Dingle Bay. I see the green Isle of Valentia. I mind the caves around Loch and gannets ringing with abandon as they watch the silver store that comes their way. I also see a ship on the horizon. She is sailing to a country far away, and on board are exiles feeling lonely as they wave a fond farewell to Dingle Bay. Now the years have passed since I came homeward, and time has left me old and gray. I sit and muse about my childhood and the happy hours I spent at Dingle Bay, and the happy hours I spent at Dingle Bay. When the golden sun is setting far beyond the ocean blue, the silvery moon is rising o'er the glittering mountain view. I often dream of Erin and my friends so far away, and the lonely hills of Connie on the banks of Mulroy Bay. I often see my mother sitting by her cottage door, my sisters and my brothers as they wander on the shore, on a lovely summer's evening in that dear land far away, and the fishing boats that anchor on the banks of Mulroy Bay. I may never see my Mary or the place where I was born, gay. With the boys from Ballina-Hilling on the banks of Mulroy Bay. And now my lonely exit, far from my native home, a poor forlorn stranger, this wide world I must roam. Still I ne'er forget old Ireland, or that morning dark and grey, when I bade farewell to Mary on the banks of Mulroy Bay. How oft do my thoughts in their fancy take flight to the home of my childhood away, to the days when each patriot's vision seemed bright, ere I dreamed that those joys should decay. When my heart was as light as the wild winds that blow down the Mardyke through each elm tree, where we sported and played neath the green leafy shade on the banks of my own lovely Lee. Where we sported and played neath the green leafy shade on the banks of my own lovely Lee. And then in the springtime of laughter and song, shall I ever forget those sweet hours with the friends of my youth as we rambled along with your green mossy banks and wildflowers. Then too, when the evening sun sinking to rest shed her golden rays over the scene, there maid with her lover the wild daisies pressed on the banks of my own lovely Lee. The maid with her lover the wild daisies pressed on the banks of my own lovely Lee. Oh, what joys would be mine ere this life should decline to seek shells on thy sea-girded shore, and a steel-covered eagle flying high o'er the brine with the promise of freedom once more. Then all I would ask for, or wish for, or crave, that my last drop be shed for thee, to moisten the grass on my forefathers' grave on the banks of my own lovely Lee. To moisten the grass on my forefathers' grave on the banks of my own lovely Lee. One evening fair to take the air, alone I chanced to stray down by a lucid silvery stream that ran along my way. I spied two lovers talking by an ancient ruined hall, and the fair one's name was Mary, the star of Donegal. He pressed her hand and then began, my darling, must I go unto the land of stars and stripes, where peace and plenty flow? But I want your faithful promise that you'll wed none at all, until I do return to the star of Donegal. She blushed and sighed and thus replied, it grieves my heart full sore to think that you're compelled to go and leave your native shore. Here is my hand, you have my heart, I own the gift is small. So stay at home and do not roam from matchless Donegal. The young man said, my charming maid, at home I cannot stay. To the California gold fields I am bound across the sea, to accumulate a fortune and to build a splendid home, for to elevate to rank and state the star of Donegal. In Belmalla town, where I first saw the light, where the waves of the sea roll by day and by night, I traveled miles on land and on sea, but a journey I'll make, and soon that will be home to Mayo, home to Mayo. Someone is waiting for me, I know. In the firelight, her smile will be bright, and my heart's in a cottage in County Mayo. I would love to go back to old Ireland once more, and to roam through the scenes as in days of yore. Surely this summer, please God, I will go back to my home in the County Mayo. Home to Mayo, home to Mayo. Someone is waiting for me, I know. In the firelight, her smile will be bright, and my heart's in a cottage in County Mayo. I have seen famous cities and bright dazzling skies, and the girls I saw there were a sight for the eyes. But I'd leave them all and never more roam, for two eyes like the stars are calling me home. Home to Mayo, home to Mayo. Someone is waiting for me, I know. In the firelight, her smile will be bright, and my heart's in a cottage in County Mayo. If I were king of Ireland and all things at my will, I'd roam for recreation, new comforts to find still. But the wish that's nearest to my heart, as you might understand, is to win the heart of Martha, the flower of sweet Strabane. Her cheeks, they are a rosy red, and her hair a lovely brown. And o'er her fair white shoulders her golden hair hangs down. She's one of God's fairest creatures, and to win her is my plan. For my heart is captivated by the flower of sweet Strabane. If I had my darling girl way down in Inishowen, or in some lovely valley in the county of Tyrone, I would do my best endeavor and try to work my plan to win the heart of Martha, the flower of sweet Strabane. I've often been to Phoenix Park and to Killarney Fair. I've been to Tipperary and the lovely County Clare. But yet in all my travels o'er, I have never met with one who could compare with Martha, the flower of sweet Strabane.
Rose, rose, rose of Killarney, sure I love you. There was never a colleen with heart so true. Sometimes I see, dear, a devil in your eye. Don't ever leave me, my poor need I would die. My rose, rose, rose of Killarney, sure I love you.
Flowers are blooming in Donegal. Every rosebud is wet with the dew. Of all the flowers in Ireland, none half so fair, dear, as you.
Rose, rose, rose of Killarney, sure I love you. There was never a colleen with heart so true. Sometimes I see, dear, a devil in your eye. Don't ever leave me, my Foley, I would die. My rose, rose, rose of Killarney, sure I love you.
Lassies I've met here in Donegal, eyes of brown, eyes of grey and of blue, dearer by far than his other gifts. I thank God he gave me you.
Rose, rose, rose of Killarney, sure I love you. There was never a colleen with heart so true. Sometimes I see, dear, a devil in your eye. Don't ever leave me, my Foley, I would die. My rose, rose, rose of Killarney, sure I